Hello, my dear viewers and the rest of the listeners. Welcome for this presentation in which I'll be speaking about self-awareness. Don't be a stranger to yourself. My name is Mema JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness is your ability to know and recognize yourself as an individual separate from the environment and others, your body and your character, as well as your capacity for self-introspection, thus being able to form opinions about yourself as worthy in relation to other people and appreciate yourself as a unique person. It is always important to remember that you are a unique being with a unique purpose, and thus you cannot be similar to another person regardless of your relationship with others. For that reason, you should never assess, measure, evaluate, or describe yourself, your looks, or your status based on another person's perspective or opinion. Therefore, developing self-awareness helps you to recognize yourself in terms of your character, your strengths and weaknesses, desires, likes and dislikes, your capabilities and limitations, your beliefs and values, as well as emotions and personality. It also enables you to know when you are in stress or when you feel under pressure. It also helps you to know what you want in your life as well as what you want to change or improve in your life or in others' lives. What motivates you and makes you happy, your current achievements, how you relate with others, as well as how you see yourself as a person. In addition, if you want to change your life in any way, you need to know yourself before you can act. You need to know what you need to do to head in the right direction, and you cannot do that until you know yourself. For this reason, self-awareness can enrich your life because you can then move closer to living your values and realizing your dreams. In fact, when you discover yourself, you are able to understand your inner self, thus enabling you to give more of yourself to others. And this will benefit your relationships and help you to build your self-esteem as well as your confidence as you become truer to yourself. Because you are a unique person, separate and different from the rest in almost every aspect, you must always appreciate your own uniqueness in every aspect and know yourself very well, such that you can be able to tell exactly who you are, not just by your name, but also in every other aspect of your life. Always remember that whereas you can work to improve on yourself, there are many aspects about yourself that you cannot change, and thus you need to be aware about them. After all, that is what makes you unique and different from the rest. That is what you should be able also to describe, and such description should reflect as accurately as possible who you really are. You should never allow anyone to intimidate or belittle you based on either what you have, how you look, your status, or in any other aspect, because it's that difference between you and them that makes you unique and can be identified with. You should always be aware of your values, your interests, your hobbies, your talents, as well as your aspirations. By possessing such knowledge, you'll be able to know what you should always do and what you should not do. If you don't know who you are, you will always copy others' behavior alter your values to accommodate others' interests at the expense of your own personal values, as well as doing things and behaving in a way to please others at the expense of your own personality. Such behavior does not rhyme or match with who you are and will always have detrimental effects to your life. It is therefore important for you to be aware about yourself. Practice to be your true self and behave in your true self so that the rest of the people can also know who you are and they can also be able to understand you. Otherwise, if you cannot define yourself, others will not be able also to define you. And if they do, they will do so from a point of lack of knowledge about yourself. For this reason, before you describe others, you must start by describing yourself first and having a clear understanding about who you really are. You should thus be aware of yourself from both the positive and negative aspects so that you can be able to have clear knowledge about yourself and a clear focus on what you can do to improve yourself and relate with others. When you are aware about yourself, you'll be able to know that, number one, you should not do anything that can endanger your body in any way. It is thus as a result of lack of awareness about yourself that you may not be able to take the right action that you know very well has positive effects. Therefore, it is as a result of lack of awareness about yourself that you are unable to take action that you know very well that it has negative consequences on yourself or others, yet you still proceed and do it regardless of the warnings you might have received or the knowledge that you have about it. Number two, you should not follow anyone blindly into accomplishing his or her request without having thought about its effects on you as an individual just for the sake of pleasing him or her. Number three, you should take good care of your body as it's the vehicle that enables you to accomplish whatever objective that you would like to accomplish. Because if you don't, you cannot be healthy and you cannot be able to attain any objective. Number four, you are not a perfect human being, and thus you cannot be merciless or fail to forgive yourself when you do wrong. But just forgive yourself when you do wrong because you know or will have known your weaknesses and therefore you have learned what your mistakes are. Number five, you should not do things or just take actions based on others' whims because you already know what you want in life and thus you only take actions based on the value that those acts will add to your life towards the set objective that you want to achieve. Number six, you should dress modestly according to the set standards from where you are because you know what is expected of you by the community or society in which you live or are working in reference to dressing. Number seven, you should take good care of your body by taking good food and drinks that add value to your body while avoiding those substances that may harm it because you are aware about the value for what you eat and its effects in your health. If you are self-aware, you will be able to take care of all your faculties, that is your mind, your body, and your soul. Why? Because you are aware that the three are interrelated, and therefore you need to take good care for them physically, mentally, spiritually, and even emotionally. Number 9, you should know that you are the final decision maker on any issue before you take any action, regardless of other people's perspective, because you are aware that any decision or action that you take has consequences to your individual life. Number 10, you should not blame others for what they might have done in the past to negatively affect your current status of life, because you are aware that you don't have to blame anyone for what you are passing through, but what you need to do is to change that narrative, because you have an opportunity to change your current status for your good. Number 11, you should respect yourself by behaving ethically and following the set rules and regulations, because you are aware about the consequences of such violations and how those consequences may interfere with your peaceful coexistence with others. Number 12, you should be able to know your strengths and weaknesses, thus being able to know your limits and setting your boundaries so that you cannot, or so that you can be able to withstand any pressures that may emanate from others. With the self-confidence or with the self-awareness, you should be able to distinguish yourself from the opposite gender and associate yourself with your specific gender. Why? Because you are aware that you are either a male or a female, and your behavior, your dressing, and the rest are expected to match or rhyme with your sexuality. When you are self-aware, you should be able to make accurate decisions when faced with situations or problems that require one to choose the best alternative amongst the several available options. Why? Because you are aware of the effects that any decision made by you will have on you as well as on others, either in a positive or negative manner in relation to your life's vision and mission. When you are self-aware, you are able to follow other people's, or you don't follow other people's decisions blindly or be swayed by others' responses at any given time, because you are aware of your rights and the consequences of following others blindly, and thus you are able to stand up for your rights and only be engaged or do what can add value to your life. When you are self-aware, you should be able to establish relationships that add value to your life, as well as keep off those relationships that may negatively influence your life, because you are aware that bad company ruins good morals, and therefore you are able to choose your close friends wisely so that they can be able to enable you achieve your life goals and your life purpose. When you are self-aware, you are able to make changes in your thoughts and your emotions so that they don't drive you into executing actions that may be detrimental to your life, but only engage in those thoughts that leave you as a better person than the way you were before you experienced them. This is because you are always aware of where each type of thought or emotion may be driving you. With self-awareness, or when you are self-aware, you are also aware about your roles and your responsibilities, and you are able to fulfill them without pretending to be who you are not. When you are self-aware, you are able to relate with others easily because you are always aware of your abilities and inabilities, and others also know you very well, and therefore they cannot do or ask you to do what they know very well that you cannot tolerate. When you are self-aware, you are aware of what you want to achieve in your life and the goals that you want to achieve or that you must achieve. And for this reason, you are able to accomplish them regardless of the challenges or obstacles that you may experience in your journey towards achieving them. When you are self-aware, you are able to pay attention to your individual and personal needs in as much as you may also, or in as much as you also help others. Because you know very well that if you don't take care of yourself at the expense of taking care of others, you are bound to neglect yourself, and for this reason, you may lose your focus and even your own whole life. When you are self-aware, you should know which emotions you are feeling at any time, why you are feeling so, and how those feelings may affect your performance. When you are self-aware, you are able to recognize the link between your feelings and what you think, what you do, and what you say, because you are aware of the consequences that you may experience if you act without clarifying the link between the two. When you are self-aware, you should be able to recognize how your feelings affect your performance. In addition, when you are self-aware, you should always work towards improving yourself, but without copying or imitating others. This is because you can never be like another person. When you are self-aware, you are always sincere and honest with yourself, as well as with the others, regardless of what that might cost you. For it's only honesty that can grant you the joy and the peace that you much desire. This enables you to exercise integrity regardless of the situation that you may be passing through. When you are self-aware, you should always do things, speak once, and be engaged in activities that do not embarrass you or embarrass others. When you are self-aware, you always avoid being engaged in activities or tasks or behavior that may elicit conflicts or cause confusion, because you are able to think before acting so that you can be able to predict the consequences of your behavior before you do anything. In addition, with self-awareness, you are able to know what triggers your behavior or reactions, and therefore you are able to avoid or tame those that may provoke you into behaving negatively and embrace those that add value to your life and your personality. With self-awareness, you are also able to communicate with others in a manner that they are able to clearly understand you without any ambiguities, and thus receive appropriate feedback as well as reactions from them. The following are therefore some of the methods or techniques that you can utilize to improve on your self-awareness. Number one is having what we call self-reflection. You need to set aside some time each day to think about yourself. During this time, your thoughts need to dwell long enough on one or other issue that is crucial to your life. You may pose questions to yourself with respect to the issue in consideration. In the case the issue you are presently concerned with is, for example, your goal in life, You can ask yourself several questions in relation to it, such as, do I have a purpose in life? What is it? Is it something that is within my ability to accomplish? How much time do I spend daily in pursuit of the same? As you continue to put questions such as these to yourself and find answers to them, your awareness about the issue keeps on growing. You also think about what you are good at based on what you hear from others and what you like doing, as well as what you are not good at and what you should do or not do in relation to the same. Number two is to develop the habit to self-observation. If you try, you can be vigilant about your own thinking, your feelings, and your actions. In fact, you can think about your own thinking and your emotional stream of consciousness. As you continue to do so, and so each and every time, you will have many clues, not only concerning your feelings, but also concerning your behavior. This will also give you an understanding as regards your strong as well as your weak points. This in turn can help you decide what aspects of your behavior that you need to retain and pinpoint those that need to be eliminated. Therefore, through proper scrutiny and observation, you will be able to know a lot more about yourself. Number three is carrying out a personal physical body evaluation and taking medical examinations. In as much as you need to be aware of your interests, your likes and dislikes, your strengths and weaknesses, amongst such other habits, you also need to be aware of how you look, as well as being aware of your health status. In this case, you need to be carrying out certain physical body examinations, such as standing in front of a large mirror in your room while nude. And then you look at what you can see or the person that you can see and the feeling and also feeling each part of your body so that you can know what is normal and what may not be normal. Then, if at any time you notice any change in your physical appearance, you are not sure about what you can see or feel, you can always seek for further clarification from a medical personnel. You can even be going through this task together with your intimate partner instead of doing it alone, such as your wife or your husband, so that you can assist each other in knowing your bodies better. It is also good for you to be visiting your hospital or liaising with your medical personnel periodically for health checks, regardless of whether you are feeling unwell or not, so that in the case of any abnormalities, they can be handled on time. Number four is teaming up with a colleague or a peer. Teaming up with a colleague or your peer. Teaming up with a trusted colleague or a peer, wherever you are, can be yet another way to build your self-awareness. You can meet at an appropriate venue and exchange details regarding each other's behavior, ways of communication, and manner of interaction with others, amongst the others. Such emotional exchange can help build up not only a lot of self-awareness, but also provide you with ample clues as to how to get rid of what is debilitating and improper. Number five is always asking for feedback. Awareness building is possible not only through self-observation and self-reflection, but also through feedback that is obtained from other significant people in your life. You can seek for information about yourself from your parents, your teachers, your friends, your colleagues, and even your spouse. Of course, your observation and reflection may not always unfold very subtle aspects regarding your behavior, your mannerisms, your transactions, amongst the others. However, the people that you interact with and work with can help you know much more about yourself. Therefore, getting feedback from people whom you can trust is one of the best ways to get to know yourself better. Number 6 is going through counseling sessions from a professional counselor. Through such sessions, you can be able to know more about yourself and in a realistic manner beyond what you might have known or thought about yourself. It is thus always good to go through such sessions occasionally so that you can be able to rediscover yourself and be able to know what might be the real cause of the experiences that you might be passing through. You are also able to know the most appropriate way or a method of dealing with whatever that you may be passing through. In conclusion, if you ever think of succeeding in life, you must always strive to be aware of yourself. Always be yourself and always behave based on who you are. Otherwise, if you are not aware about yourself, nobody will be aware of you all. And therefore, none will ever accord you the kind of treatment that befits you. Congratulations, my dear listeners and the viewers, for listening to this video about self-awareness. To easily access more life skills, motivational, and inspirational resources from this Emily Swap Life Skills YouTube channel, click on subscribe button below this video if it's not currently reading as subscribed. You can also access various free resources in ICT or computer field by searching for and subscribing to Emily Swap ICT YouTube channel if it's not already reading as subscribed. For any further suggestions, corrections, or queries in relation to this video and the others that are posted in any of the two YouTube channels, Emily Swap Life Skills or Emily Swap ICT, kindly feel free to write it to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me and be blessed as you become aware of yourself. God bless.